podcast with your hosts, Kevin Arnold and Nick Paulus.
There is a reason the colors brown and orange mean so much to all of us in Northeast Ohio and all those who are fans of Cleveland sports as far as they may reach throughout our country and throughout our world. Today doesn't feel good, and no matter how you're feeling today, sad, mad, content, meaning, yeah, it sucks that we lost today, but you can see a bright future and you're ready for what's next. Or if you're on the positive train and you know that come next season, this team is going to be ready to go and they are going to be a contender for championships moving forward. No matter how you feel tonight, we are all going to come together on this edition of the Voice of the Land as part of the Big Play Network. We are going to talk about all those emotions. My co-host, my brother across the table, big-time Browns fan as well, as we all are, Nick Paulus, and of course our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tillett, behind that proverbial glass. We're going to break it all down. We're going to go through some of the emotions. We are not going to tell you how to feel tonight, but hopefully we will bring some realism to the conversation, and maybe some of those emotions you're feeling, we can all vent those out tonight and look forward to what we know will be a bright future. We bleed brown and orange. We bleed football in this town. We always have. We did all season, and we always will. We love our Cleveland Browns, and they have put themselves in a position to compete and announce themselves back to the AFC and to the NFL that football is back in Northeast Ohio. And with that, we get things started here tonight. Of course, again, this is the Voice of the Land. We are also partnered, along with Big Play, with Web Streaming Studio by LPV Productions. And we are sponsored by DP Construction LLC. I know our buddy Tyler LaFrada is feeling it as well, him and Uncle Steve. But any of those concrete construction needs that you have out there, anything you need done around the house that involves concrete, getting that done, you got some time as we move through the winter months and even into the spring, reach out to them at 330-217-4999. That is 330-217-4999. They are big Cleveland fans. They are huge Browns fans. So you can have those conversations too. They are loyal to their teams, but they are loyal to their work, most importantly. And if you find them on Facebook at DP Construction LLC, you will see all of the beautiful work that they have done over the course of Tyler getting this company going and Uncle Steve getting out there and getting all that work done. And they stretch far and wide across the state of Ohio. So reach out to them. You can even email Tyler LaFrada. He puts his email right out there for you. That's how much he wants to do well by you. He will put his information out there for you. Reach out to him personally, tylerlafrada@gmail.com to get a quote. You can even message them through Facebook to get that quote. So many different ways to connect with them. Like I said, you guys will have great conversations about Cleveland sports, and they will do great work for you moving forward. So we thank them for sponsoring this journey that we have been on the Voice of the Land. You can find us on Twitter, where we are live every Sunday night, of course, with all the different game times we've gone through, going live after these games. We will switch back to our normal 7 p.m. format moving forward, but tonight going live a little bit later with a later game time. You can always find us at VTL_pod on Twitter, and it's the same handle on Instagram. We'll have some special show clips, some stories as we post throughout the year. You can find us on Facebook at Voice of the Land. We'll go live there. And reach out to Big Play as well. We are always live on their Facebook page at Big Play and at Big Play Live on YouTube. And we'll try to take some of the clips from tonight, other shows, post them on our YouTube channel at Voice of the Land Podcast. You'll see all of our Twitter handles for Paulus and myself underneath us as our names pop up throughout the night. So hit us with that follow there. And LPV Productions are streamed all across every single social media site and find the audio every single week on Google, Spotify, and Apple. We say that every single week. We appreciate everybody who tunes in. And again, it is a night to get those emotions out there, to talk about what happened, and to start to look ahead. We'll do bigger shows in the future of kind of the off-season outlook for the Browns. Tonight is a night to get out everything we're feeling, and I know I can see it out of the corner of my eye as I look into this camera in front of me. I know my brother's feeling it. You can sense it, feel it across the board in the studio right now. Paulus, welcome on in, man. I know you've been doing a lot of work over the last few weekends. It has been, I know, a great journey to do that and to do this show every single time.
Yep.
So many victories. Tonight, definitely, it hurts. Got to know where you at. Haven't had a chance to talk to you. Where are you at with this game and with this season?
It's heartbreaking loss. I mean, what else? Just, peek behind the curtain here for us. Obviously, I literally just got here 5 minutes ago. We literally jumped right into this one because I want to know what our emotions are after this game. I'm going to go first. Obviously, here we are. So, I'm pissed. I'm pissed because you should have won the game. Chad Henny, Mr. Michigan quarterback, was in the game. You should have won this game. Just should have happened. It pisses me off that we didn't get this complete. I understand that there is opportunities to be like, you know what? Hey, we were a year early. We won a wild card game against Pittsburgh. We broke a lot of records this year. And you know what? That's all fine and good. And you can look at it that way. But I'm going to look at it from the standpoint of you should have won this mother effing game. And I'm holding myself back from trying not to cuss. This one hurts. Now, it's not Red Right 88. It's not the fumble. It's not the drive. It's nothing like those. Okay? I'm just being straight up honest. This one hurts, though, for a different reason. Because it is our first time in the playoffs in God knows how long. And I truly viewed this team as a Super Bowl team. Getting everyone back off of COVID, everything like that. Patrick Mahomes was limp. He literally was knees shaking, concussed out for half the game. And he was limping for most of the game. I don't know. His ankle got turned or something on like the second drive of the game. And he wasn't the same. He wasn't. And you still ended up losing this game. Now, there were a couple of plays, you can point to the Higgs play. I don't view that as a bad play. Kevin Stefanski came out and said Higgs knows not to do that. He straight up said it. He's like, I respect Higgs for giving an all-out effort, but he knows he shouldn't have done that. I'm not even going to go that far because I think Higgs did the right thing. This is a win-or-go-home game. You dive your freaking ass over that line. The ball got hit out. Was there helmet to helmet? Sure. If you want to go down that route, I'm not going down that route.
Oh, I'm going down that route.
You can, but I think it's ridiculous. It's a bang bang.
I'm going down that route for a different reason.
It's a bang bang play. It's not like we didn't get some calls. Everyone gets calls in games. Okay, it matters about if you can capitalize on it. You lost the turnover battle today. Okay. What have I been saying for the last couple of weeks? If you win the turnover battle, you are 10-0. If you go in at half with the lead at halftime, you are 10-0. You lost to Chad Henny. That's how this worked. 3rd and 14, and you let Chad Henny get that on you, 13.5 yards. It's unacceptable. This defense, I like Joe Woods. I want him back. I want all of our guys back. Mm-hmm. But that was unacceptable. Miles had the sack right before that. You're figuring, okay, they're going to have to punt it. 2-minute warning hits. They're going to have to punt it. You're going to get the ball with about 1:10 left. Mm-hmm. Minute 10, Baker's doing it. There's not a doubt in my mind. There's not a doubt in anyone else's mind either on that team that Baker Mayfield was going to lead that drive down there. And you were going to win that. You were going to win that game. And we should be in the AFC Championship. And you know what? We would have beat the hell. We would have beat the shiznit out of Buffalo. Buffalo sucks. Sorry. I'm calling it like it is. If you can't run the freaking ball, you don't deserve to win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry I spit. You have the best offensive line in the game, and you lose. It's unacceptable. This defense, this Chiefs defense, was piss poor. They have a couple of Pro Bowlers, a couple. But for the most part, they were an average to below average defense every freaking year. And you lost to them. A lot of blame goes around, okay? Kevin Stefanski, I'm looking at you, man. You can't be losing your timeouts the way you did in that second half. The fact that you only had one timeout left whenever it came down to the business, unacceptable. Unacceptable. You should have challenged the one, you didn't. Then you challenged the wrong one. And I get that challenge. I do. It was a bang-bang play. You thought, maybe Tyreek, bobbled. I get it. But then you should have brought your team over and gone, you know what? You don't let that happen again. And they let it happen on a consistent basis. That all being said, our future is extremely bright. And I do like that. But right now, I am furious. In a couple of days, I guarantee you, I'm going to look at this completely different. But this happened a couple hours ago, and I'm a little pissed because I thought this was a Super Bowl team. I'm upset.
It's a Super Bowl offense without a Super Bowl caliber defense. When you are the worst team in NFL history on fourth downs against you, 27 of 32 were converted against this defense throughout the year. And I understand the injuries to what sort of defensive secondary they thought they were going to have to start this season versus where it's been throughout the year. Who's been in and out, what they've had to do to piece this whole thing together to get to 11-5. But it is embarrassing as an NFL team, a team still made up of professionals, when you're going against other professional teams that are having to deal with similar issues in a weird year, in a pandemic where guys are going out because they were in contact with someone that may have been in contact with someone that had this virus that is so rampant and still such a problem in the entire country and the entire world. They still had to go through similar things as that. But you were the worst team in NFL history on fourth down conversions. That's where I get upset. That's where this offseason has to be a focus on defense. And we'll break that down more as we go forward. But hearing that after the game made me mad. I started out sad. And I was listening to some post-game stuff, the Browns post-game, and ESPN Cleveland, 8:50. I was listening to that post-game. And our buddy Emmett Golden, and shout out to Emmett for even seeing me hanging out of a car yesterday through that parade when he's so focused. And they're talking to Hanford Dixon and Greg Pruitt and all those greats of the past.
Hanford Dixon dropped a S-bomb.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I caught it. But yeah, that was pretty funny.
We had like this moment between Hanford and I.
Oh really?
Yeah, like because I went through twice. We can talk about that like hopefully as we get the emotions out.
Yeah.
But like Hanford and I had this moment. We just kept pointing at each other.
Just clicked, huh?
And that's where like I got this like these goosebumps. Like I thought we were gonna win this game.
Yeah.
But when you can't get off the field on third and fourth down, it's one thing to get a bunch of turnovers. But if you can't make the play you need to force the punter to come out on the field, that sometimes is as good as a turnover. Yes, the turnover brings a lot more energy, and you may get your offense a shorter field, but being able to get a stop on third down or get a 3 and out when your offense just had the offensive line pushing and controlling that game, wearing down a average to below average Kansas City defense that you allowed to play out of their mind today that looked like spectacular beyond belief today. When you allow teams like that to get a rest, to and your defense can't make a play when your offense has regained momentum for you, you can't back that up on defense, and you don't get off the field on third and especially fourth down, and you're the worst team in NFL history, you're not going to the Super Bowl. But like you said, Paulus, Super Bowl contention is now becoming the standard because now you got a taste of it. You have set a culture. Those that don't buy in will not be here. But you need to take that next step as you go through the offseason, and that starts as they go through all of their player exit meetings, coaches exit meetings, things like that. And we had on Twitter already, we got comments already flowing in, and I want to get Peter's thoughts on this game too in just 1 second. But Indians fan 95, to your point about Joe Woods and how you said you wanted all these coaches to come back, he's comparing him to Hugh Jackson and saying, don't make the same mistake and bring Joe Woods back with the Browns like you did with Hugh.
Just to point that out, I like where our defense is. I don't want to switch to a new defense.
Right.
We have this issue every freaking year that we switch from a new defense or from a new offense. It blows my mind. We need consistency, okay? I'm preaching consistency. I never thought that I would ever say that because I'm always the fire guy. But we need consistency. I like what Joe Woods did. If we all remember, whenever Miles was out, we actually won some games, and that was not expected, okay? You have to have consistency. I think getting Joe Woods back and then cleaning up more of the defensive players, half these defensive players shouldn't be here. That's what I'm trying to say. The scheme isn't wrong. It's the players, and that's what bothers me. We have players playing out of position. We don't have a safety outside of Ronnie Harrison. I would love to say, Grant Delpit is the next guy, and I believe he is. That's why you drafted him in the second round. But the issue is the guy's never seen an NFL field. So how do I? So yeah, exactly. So how do I know that he's going to be a committed aspect to our future? I thought Greedy was going to be one this year. We haven't seen Greedy all year. Greedy's away tweeting saying he's feeling dangerous. I'd rather see you on the freaking field, Greedy. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of all of this bull crap that is going on, especially whenever I see players leaving games and stuff like that. Jed Wills, I'm sorry I'm getting away from this. One last thing. Jed Wills, it wouldn't be a Cleveland Browns game if we didn't lose one freaking offensive lineman. I'm sick and tired of losing offensive linemen like I lose my money, okay? I don't know where my money goes. I don't know where Jed Will goes. I don't know where any of these guys go. You lost him, you lost Kendall Lamb, and then you got the Blake guy in there again. It's ridiculous. And he did well.
Yeah, he did.
The fact is that he did well. But I'd rather see my rookie, my rookie that you spent the 10th pick on in the game instead of him. And then Miles gets hurt, and then Denzel gets hurt, and it's ridiculous. Go on.
Comes down to player execution.
Yeah.
Yeah, people want to talk about scheme. They want to talk about, well, this coach isn't doing that. Why aren't they blitzing more in this game? Why aren't they, going cover two?
Blitz against Patrick Mahomes, you're going to get killed.
And they broke that down in ESPN. Tony Romo was saying to blitz more in this game, and against the blitz, actually, when it was just a four-man front, that's when he had more of his turnovers than it was when they brought a blitz, especially a corner blitz, anything specially designed, trying to hide things. It comes down to player execution. You get a 3rd down and 14. You have a chance to get your offense back on the field, and you let Chad Henny run that ball.
I'm still fuming about that.
You let them convert time after time after time on 3rd and long and 4th and medium throughout the season. That comes down to player executions, players wanting it more. And yes, you're right, Paulus. There's players on this defense that should not be out there. They may be able to add depth to your team, but not people that should be responsible or be out there as starters. Some circumstantial stuff had them in there. But if you're going to be a professional and you're going to be in the game, and you're going to be a depth guy that's going to contribute behind others, and you have this next man up mentality, you better be able to make that play. In any sort of level, if you're at the high school level, you better be able, high school against high school, you better be able to get a 3rd down and 14 stop. College versus college, you better be able to get a 3rd down and 14 stop. Pro versus pro, you better be, I could go on and on and on. Peter, before I get into my emotions, because I was talking about Emmett, and I'm going to get to that point here in a second because he brought up something I really want to discuss here with the different emotions I talked about at the beginning. But at the Telep household, what were the emotions throughout the game? And by the time it ended, I mean, you were messaging us as soon as that clock hit 0 that you were on your way here.
Oh, well, I lived through the drive and the fumble. And to me, this was, it wasn't the same. But that fumble right before half, I understand, you can't review that. I think it's, that hit was a bad hit. And the rule is the rule. So, I mean, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that.
Right.
That was deflating. But still, the way that they fought back, the offense, I thought was they did good, but not good enough. They fought back. The end of the game, I think there were just some of the plays, we were running Chubb into the pile. They weren't creating the lanes. They weren't there. But the defense, like you already said, 3rd and 14, 4th down. We can't stop teams. We're terrible, 4th down.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. Obviously, I think Miles is hurting. They were putting him in for the pass, plays, but
right. And he got a sack.
Yeah.
I mean that's why it made it 3rd and 14.
Right. But the thing is, Miles isn't the only freaking person out there, and the rest of the defense has to step up. And I was talking with Jacob earlier. I said, we need to really bolster the defense. And my thought is, we really need some linebackers. We need some good linebackers. And I said, normally I'd be saying, who in Ohio State? Who's coming out of Ohio State that we can draft? But this is the one of those rare years that I wouldn't take an Ohio State.
Kind of mirror each other, where the defenses kind of mirror each other a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, I was disappointed. I'm not as emotional as you guys are about, and I understand that. I mean, it's frustrating, but one of my one brother-in-law said, "Hey, I'd rather we have gotten blown out," and I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me? No. We went in there. We had a chance to win. I am pissed. That's a good word for it, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm pissed that we didn't get the stop. We had everything right there. We just needed to get the stop, get the ball back, and we had the opportunity, and they just didn't grab it.
Yeah.
Today is to that point, though, of people saying, "Oh, I'd rather get blown out." Today is a microcosm of this, why we're so excited for the future of this team.
Exactly.
And what they showed to put in all of the attention in the offseason on the offense, and what it, of course, accumulated to this season. Now you assume, and they've set their own standard, they better live up to it. I'm not saying you have to go out and get every single Pro Bowl player. I'm saying getting guys that fit into what you're trying to do, which is exactly what they did last offseason, the offense, doing that for the defense. The reason why we're excited is because we had a chance, and that's why we're also pissed off, and that's why we're also sad. And what Emmett was saying after this game was, it's not heartbreaking, it's not, demoralizing. I'm still sad. Like, I feel heartbroken, but in a different way. I get that I didn't live through the fumble, the drive,
Red Right 88. Right.
I didn't live through those things. We've had our moments in our lifetime that have been heartbreaking that he's talking about. He's making a good point. But I'm still sad and heartbroken to the point of, we had a chance to win. We should have won. And we didn't get the job done because we did not execute. We couldn't make that play that we needed.
Yeah.
They made plays they needed to on that drive to force the Browns into a decision whether to go for it on 4th and 9 in their own territory or to punt the ball and hope to get it back. And guess what? You got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, all those guys were still there even when Patrick Mahomes went out. The one guy that set up Tyreek Hill ending the game that you never thought was going to happen and never should happen, Chad Henny. And I know Indians fan 95 even added in on Twitter that, you know, Chad Henny wasn't even good 10 years ago when he was younger. At 35 years old, he just beat us in a playoff game.
No,
that part hurts.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. He also said on there, Indians fan 95 also said on there, where was Kareem? You know, witness protection, and I agree with that because it is ridiculous that you didn't use him more. He only had seven touches, 7 touches, 6 carries. Are you going to tell me that he's not better than 1 catch for 2 yards? It's ridiculous. The fact that the game plan that Kevin Stefanski called was ridiculous. Like, I'm just going to
Nobody's immune to blame on this game at all.
And you know what? Like, once again, he's still the coach of the year.
Yes.
You know, like, it's not like we would have been better if Mike Prefer was was going to be the head coach. You know, if Kevin still had COVID or anything like that. I'm just saying that we made mistakes tonight. As upset as I am, I still recognize and realize that we have a lot of things going for us. You know, this was playoff experience that I thought we were going to get this year. I thought we were going to get to the playoffs. Now, I wasn't sure if we could win any of those games, but at 9-3, and I started retweeting, you know, out the old clip there for us. We were a Super Bowl caliber team at 9-3, and you finished the year at 11-5, and you beat the Steelers, which in Pittsburgh, which is what you need to do, and then you got all of the COVID guys back, including your head coach, who is the coach of the year. And it just didn't happen today. Everything broke your way. You know, especially in that second half, everything seemed to break your way. Patrick Mahomes goes out. First off, he was limping, and then he goes out, and then, you know, they couldn't convert a 33-yard field goal. You know, that Baker throws an interception, and you're like, oh Christ, here we go. You know, here's the turning point, and they missed the field goal. You know, doinked it. You know, it was one of those moments where everything seemed to be breaking your way. And whenever Carl Joseph picked off Chad Henny, who threw the duckiest duck I've ever seen.
You ever play the game Jackpot?
Yeah.
That was basically a jackpot throw.
Absolutely.
Just the whole collection.
Jackpot.
Everybody out there recess, like, just
no doubt.
chucking up there who can catch
No doubt.
it.
And Carl Joseph caught it like it was a fair catch. It's like, thanks. Okay, cool.
Punting.
At that moment in time, you had 8 minutes left. You had all the momentum in the world, and you go 3 and out. Like, that was another thing. Once again, I was convinced, because if you do a hurry up against this team, you can score. We've seen it happen before. You can do hurry up. The Browns do excellent hurry up, but at that moment in time, you wanted to kill the clock. And I get that, Kevin Stefanski, but my issue is that you weren't killing the clock the proper way. The fact that you didn't give the ball to Kareem Hunt, the fact that you took so long to understand and go, you know what, Nick Chubb's probably a good running back. You know, let's give him a couple of carries in, you know, the second half. He only had 5 carries the first half. You can't win a playoff game that way. You just can't. You're not Buffalo.
Can't.
Buffalo they started off the game 17 passes to 1 rush. You're not Buffalo, okay? Josh Allen is an excellent quarterback, has gotten so much better. He really has. He is a top 3 MVP candidate. I love Baker Mayfield. I want Baker to get a $120 million contract. Give him a 5-year, $120 million contract right now. Like, all for it. Totally all for it. But he's not Josh Allen. I'm sorry, he just isn't. He can't carry you the way that Josh Allen can, okay? Without Josh Allen on the Buffalo Bills, that Bills team is a 5-win team at best.
It's interesting you say that, because like when I was driving out with Jacob, we're talking about looking forward. You know, I feel good looking forward.
Sure.
And I compared it to the Cavs when we had LeBron. LeBron carried that team. We didn't have LeBron, and we were terrible. But we're not in that position right now. We, you know, if we don't have Baker, we have people. We have Hunt, we have Chubb, we have.
If you have Case Keenum in the game, okay, like if you start off the year with Case Keenum, you're probably a 7-win team. Okay, you're not making the playoffs, but you can win a couple of games and go from there. That's saying Baker's worth 4 games, and you know what? He probably is. That's a lot of games. Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah.
If Patrick Mahomes is not on that Chiefs team and Chad Henne's the quarterback of the team. At best, they're a 4-win team. At best, maybe a 3. They're not good. They got some talent on the offense, but Chad Henny can't consistently get it out there, as shown that second half. But he was able to do just enough, and that's what pisses me off, is that just enough just knocked our asses out of the playoffs.
Just enough, like Tyreek Hill climbing the ladder, and that ball just inches off the ground.
And how about Tyreek shoving his coach? What a douchebag.
Yeah, no one thinks anything of it, and this guy,
Well, they tried to play it off like they were joking around.
Hey,
Romo did,
yeah. You know what? Tyreek's just tired of hitting women, so he might as well hit his man. So go right ahead. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah,
I know.
Go for it, Tyreek.
Yeah.
If you want to start fighting guys, cool. Go for it.
Right, and I
hope he gets smacked right up the mouth.
Dude,
just...
Yeah.
I hate Tyreek Hill, man.
I do too.
Hate him.
But and people were talking about that after the game, or talking about how Tyreek shouldn't even be in the league for the actions he's done. But
everyone deserves a second chance. I mean,
yes,
if you like Kareem Hunt,
Kareem Hunt,
like Kareem Hunt,
you
got to give him a second chance.
You got to see it on both sides of the that you got to see that kind of conversation on both sides. I kind
of feel, I just don't like the fact that he kicks his girlfriend whenever she's pregnant and knocks her down some stairs.
Yes.
Some borderline acceptable things the NFL likes to approve on. Josh Gordon can't smoke a blunt, though. That good call.
Where it's legal in most states, but
okay, Goodell.
There's a lot of issues. Goodell's got a lot of issues. This
is a hot one.
Yeah,
this is a good podcast.
You want to talk about the NFL? This is where I'll bring up that helmet-to-helmet hit. Not because I'm not saying that is the difference. Yeah, if you get the penalty there, and you're set up first and goal, you assume Chubb or Hunt is going in, and that's 7 points right there. You add that to what you have. You can't really do that because...
No, you can't.
Right, because if they score there, what does the atmosphere of the game look like from that point by getting that score? Know? So and the mindset, the philosophy, the play calling changes all of that. So you can't say that exactly. But when the NFL is preaching safety protocols and trying to get those torpedo type hits, leading with the helmet out of the game, and they have a rule in place where there is a legal forcible use of the helmet as an actual penalty in a game, and a guy has both arms basically at his side, he's launching himself at a torpedo like a lot of guys have, and that's kind of been the culture, the way that guys have learned how to tackle. They've seen the big hits, and they've just kind of followed that mold, and not enough has been done to get that out of the game, or at least try to get guys to turn. I know how fast the game is. No, I'm just going to tell everybody right now. No, I didn't play the game of football, but I understand the speed of the game, so I get that it's hard to turn your body and hit guys in the right way every single time. But when you launch yourself from your feet with your helmet, not taking into account any of your health concerns for the future, anyone else's health concerns in the future, you know a guy is going to dive at the pylon, you know where his head level is at, and you're going to dive like that, and the NFL doesn't have that as a reviewable play. In college, it is a targeting play that gets reviewed. If they call it, they review it, they see if it's true or not, because they don't want to take a chance, an opportunity away from a scholar athlete from being able to continue in the game. But if it's the letter of the law to the penalty, they take the guy out of the game. If they miss it and something gets buzzed down and they go review it and they see targeting, the guy is out of the game. Now, the NFL doesn't have targeting the way NCAA does, but they have illegal, forcible use of helmet-to-helmet contact. And everybody was saying, and not just the referee advisors that these broadcasts bring on, every single person involved with the NFL, Bill Cowher, Nate Burleson, all of these guys saying, yeah, they hate the rule about the ball being fumbled forward in the field of play. You get it where the ball was fumbled, but if it fumbles out of the end zone, the defense gets it. Okay, that's a rule for the NFL. Look forward to future. It's a terrible rule, but it is what it is. The NFL has it set. But if you don't have a way with all of these cameras, you don't have a system in place, and you're going to react just because it impacted a playoff game now, that you're going to review in the future. Maybe at the March meetings, you're going to put the rule in place that you can review these helmet-to-helmet hits in the future. That's not good enough. That is hypocritical for the message that you put out there. Roger Goodell does a great job of campaigning for the NFL, but when things go wrong with his league, he does a great job of hiding behind, oh, well, there's just nothing we can do because, we'll look at it moving forward, but, the rules are set up the way they are. Roger Goodell needs to go. One of the worst commissioners. Him and Rob Manfred can just go off to an island by themselves, live there for the rest of their lives. If I never have to see either one of them again, I will be a happy man. Again, I'm not mad and I'm not getting on this rant right now because I think that is the only play that changed this game. There is blame to go around the Browns. Stefanski didn't call a good enough game. Even though Chubb needed more carries, if you have the ball in your hands, you have a screen set up with yardage in front of you to start a drive, you need to make those catches. Baker cannot throw across his body and put a team in position to now take a bigger lead. Luckily, the defense stepped up, but they didn't step up when it was necessary, when it's 3rd and 14 to get their quarterback and their offense back on the field. There was too many mistakes, and I love the fact that we can break this down frame by frame and know that, yeah, we still trust these guys in the future, but we can criticize them now, and we're happy and excited and can't wait until September comes when we get to see Browns football again because we know that they're going to be hungry, they're young, they're going to be ready to go, and we trust that they're going to make the moves to put them in position to be true Super Bowl contenders. But the NFL has so many issues, and too many times these controversial elements happen, and they are just so happy to sit there in New York or wherever those offices are, sit behind a desk and not do anything until it's absolutely necessary when guys are already getting hurt, and then you're saying you're trying to protect your players. You're putting people in a position to not just be hurt in a game, but to be hurt in their life where they don't have the opportunity to have life after football. And that is unacceptable. That's why that hit got me so mad in the game. I know you said that they can call it, they can't. That's where my mind was coming from in that regard.
And that's fine. I mean, I guess you can feel that way if you want.
You guess?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Guys' lives are at stake. You can't just say
it happens every game. It happens every single game.
But it's the wrong message then.
You know what? You know what the NFL's about.
Yeah, and I'm telling you.
They don't care, Kevin.
I understand. That's the point. Where do you not see the point? I get that they don't care. But that's why you're
just talking to talk right now. Because
talking the talk. What talk?
You're talking to talk right now just because I guarantee you the NFL doesn't care. So like you're yelling at a brick wall right now. You're yelling at that wall.
Is that not allowed? Like, am I not allowed to get this stuff off my chest?
You are absolutely allowed to.
Microphone in front of us. We can say what we want and
go right ahead.
And something's got to change. That's the truth. That's not opinion. That's the truth. Something's got to change with this league.
Nothing's going to change.
And that's unacceptable.
You can say it's unacceptable. You're still going to watch the game. Until people start turning off the channel, it doesn't matter then. I understand. Like, if you're going to be upset about that, then you got to be upset about, the whole Mahomes getting the concussion and everything like that. I don't view... This is football. And this is football. I don't... You're allowed to talk all you want. I root for you to talk all you want. I'm just saying, like, that sort of topic, you're just yelling to a brick wall because the NFL, they don't care.
But to tell me that you guess I can say something, like that's not...
You're allowed to say whatever you want, Kevin.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
That's not where the conversation is. What I'm saying is I want guys to be able to make these spectacular plays. I don't want Mahomes getting hurt like that.
Sure.
But that's a different play than a guy leading with his helmet. There is no, where does the line stop when we teach young players to actually tackle in a form tackle position? Why won't the NFL take a stance on that? That's what I want to know.
I don't know what you want me to say. At this point in time, the NFL doesn't care. Until someone dies on the field, the NFL won't care. And even at that point in time, they're still not going to change a damn thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, and if someone dies on the field, there's going to be more than just sports to talk about in that regard and how inept Roger Goodell really is.
I agree, but at the same time, it's one of those moments where you're, I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's ridiculous that no one does speak up. Like, it's got to change somewhere, right? You can't just accept the fact that they don't care. At some point, you better start, because there's more than just money at stake.
Well, I mean, what led to the, all the concussion protocols?
What do you mean? What?
Well, I mean,
the suicide? The players?
Yeah,
players killing themselves.
The suicides,
lawsuits,
and what do they do? They put more money towards the insurance. They put more money towards the damage control and everything like that. But it still doesn't take the headshots out of the game. Really,
it doesn't take them out. Well, but there's more penalties going. Hitting around the head. I mean, I agree with Kevin. They need to change. I think they need to have. How do
you fix it?
Well, they need
tell me how you fix it.
Why don't? As much as I hate to say this, because I think the targeting rule in NCAA is
that is not the right way to fix it.
Well, it's not the right way to fix it, but I think it's a step in the right direction. But I don't think it's the right way, because the targeting rule in NCAA, there are some good calls but there are some that are incidental, where the player isn't intentionally lowering his head.
Sure.
I'm
going to tell you what a lot of bosses have told me. If you're going to bring up a problem, you better have a solution for it. And if that's your solution, bringing up the targeting call or bringing up the targeting thing from college, no bueno. It's not the right thing to do. Okay. I don't know how you can fix this. Okay.
Make it reviewable. Well, that's one thing.
Make it reviewable. But you know what, Nick?
But then what are you going to do?
There are people that get paid a lot of more money than any of us here.
So let me put it this way.
Ejecting guys, costing them game checks, sending a message.
Let me put it this way, okay? Let's say they put it under review, okay? Let's go with that exact play, okay?
Yeah.
He hit the guy in the helmet. He hit Higgs right in the helmet.
With his
helmet.
Yeah.
Okay? Higgs had the ball, and it got fumbled out of the end zone. How would that play? How should that play have gone?
That is
with your mindset. How should that have play been handled?
The ball stays with the Browns. That's a personal foul. That's half the distance to the goal.
But he fumbled it outside of the goal line
after the hit.
After the hit is what caused him to fumble. That's the hit that knocked it out. His hand did not knock that ball out of his hands. It's the hit to his head that's where the ball gets lost.
Okay.
That's what you're looking at when you're reviewing.
So then what happens? After that, is it just that guy still gets to go out and still do everything, or does he get ejected?
I mean, he should be ejected, but the NFL has done the whole unsportsmanlike conduct. You get 2 of those, whatever it is. Right. You get 2 of those, and then you're ejected. So they give guys second chances.
I just don't even. Okay.
Everybody says NFL's not for long, but they sure do give guys that don't deserve them more than second chances all the time. So
I don't know. I mean, you can, once again,
if you're listening on Twitter, chime in and tell us what you think.
Absolutely. Yeah, go right ahead. I guarantee, there's hits like that every single game. And it's not just in the NFL. It's in high school. It's in college. It's in Pee Wee. It is everywhere. And they can do everything possible to, from the heads up programs and all of that sort of stuff. And people are getting better because we do see less of them. I do think that we see less of them, but there's still those hits every single game. I just need to figure out, I'm controlling the NFL or anything, but I need to have solutions. If you think the targeting thing is a solution for it, okay.
I just gave you one. Reviewable play, and if it is, it's ejection, and it's not doesn't have to go under the.
So you are talking the college targeting technique.
I'm talking college targeting, but the NFL has got a lot of money and a lot of resources to actually look at that. That's the initial step. So
if this play happened on the opposite side of the field, okay, let's say someone hit someone on the top of the head on the opposite side of the field. Does the coach get to throw the flag on that play, even though like Higgs wasn't like the ball went to Higgs drops it, okay, but some other guy headhunted at the other guy opposite side of the field? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Like, you open up Pandora's box if you do that. That's what I'm saying.
But it's the start of giving an idea for a solution, and guys getting in a room and actually talking about this. They don't actually talk about these things. They just throw things out there, just like the catch rule was so hard to figure out for so many years because they just threw darts at a wall and said, this is what it is, this is what it is. They didn't think about what you are doing right now, which is smart, is thinking about where the gray areas come in. Mm-hmm. So it's getting other people together to talk about this and all the resources you have to use an idea for a solution to come up with the best one that you can for the betterment of the game and the betterment of your players. I'm not saying it's ever going to be perfect.
Right.
But you're not doing enough. And change only happens when people are willing to actually speak up. Just assuming that people don't care, that's when you just get complacent and nothing changes, nothing gets better. It's the same thing with same thing with the country, same thing with each person's life. If you're not able to look in the mirror and see, how can things get better and actually talk about it, work with other people to do that, change doesn't happen. You just assume, Goodell, he doesn't care. Oh, my boss, he doesn't care. So why should I even try to have a conversation about, advancement or anything like that? You got to be willing to have conversations for change to happen. That is in this regard, but that's a broader spectrum. That gets.
Do you think
that'll open up Pandora's box?
Do you think that?
But I'm not going there.
Do you think tomorrow, what will be the headline?
The headline.
Should it be Higgs's helmet to helmet? Because it is it was a game-changing play. It was, helmet to helmet. It's like what do you think?
After that play, how the game went. The big point I was making is You can't just, if people want to be frustrated with just that play and they think that that's the only play that cost the Browns to lose, that's fine. But the rest of the game, there were other opportunities for the Browns to win. So it's a headline or a subplot in the game that led to the ultimate headline. But the headline of this game, Browns did not get the job done.
And agreed.
But it's a subplot that should still be talked about and not pushed to the side and put in a dark room.
Whenever they look, I should have worded it better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever they look at this play, how will the media look at it? How will Roger Goodell look at it? How will that be handled? This play, this exact play, everything that happened with this play, how will it be handled by the media? Because I can guarantee you, I know exactly how it's going to be played.
Well, I'm pretty sure I know it's going to be pushed to the side for the most part, but it should be handled as actually getting the conversation going, where it's not just me on a great platform like Big Play, but still not as many viewers as maybe a Sports Center or something like that's going to get, to actually have more people looking at it, talking about it, and giving their ideas. So then, again, it starts to come together, and Roger Goodell should be looking at it. But, of course, again, it's more of a reactive than proactive approach. Sometimes there's only one way to be, is reactive, because you just can't foresee certain things. Right.
Let me tell you how this play is going to be reviewed by the media and everything else. They're going to talk about changing the touchback aspect of it. They're not going to look at the helmet to helmet, because we are conditioned to not give a damn about these players. They signed their contracts. They got millions of dollars. We don't give a damn. And I say we as like America watching football.
Right. I know where.
As long as they don't kneel, we're cool. That's how America views it, which is ridiculous. But we go from there.
Another Pandora's box.
Another Pandora's. Yeah, election. I'm sorry, not election, but inauguration day is coming up. Be careful.
Is it too late to change the title of the show?
Not yet. Not yet. In Pandora's box. That's probably what it should have been. No, but this play is going to be reviewed by the national media, by us, by and I say us as like Cleveland media.
Yeah.
It's going to be viewed as, the touchback rule. Oh, come on, like that's the dumbest rule ever. I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's a pretty stupid
dumb rule too.
It's a stupid rule, but the thing is, they don't give a damn that Higgs got hit in the head. You know why? Because Higgs got up and was able to catch a couple other passes. Had Patty Mahomes got truly headhunted, which a lot of people were saying that Mac Wilson was a headhunter on that. Like, I don't know what was said during the game because I haven't heard, like the live audio or
Miles
heard it from Travis Kelce saying that, that Mac was headhunting and that, they were talking smack about headhunting on the sidelines. I don't know about that. Mac says he didn't.
Sounds like Mac was getting threats. He came to his phone with threats after the game too about that too. But
you knock out Patrick Mahomes, that's what's going to happen.
Right,
but that was a clean hit. I want to throw that out there. Mac Wilson did a clean.
That
finally,
was clean. I think it was the ball. If you watch the replay,
his shoulder hits Patty in like the head,
Yeah.
which is fair. They're both going down, and I thought Pat hit his head on the ground, and I was like, oh, that's how he got the concussion. His head didn't even hit the ground.
I think there was the ball. The ball was there.
It looked like his head hit the ball or hit his hand, and he's just on the ground, and it didn't look that bad.
Yeah.
But apparently, he was woozy.
So I got a message here from Jenna Fenstermaker saying, since you guys won't read her tweet, to bring up Jamet Harrison's hit on Muhammad Massaquoi.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at that as well. I mean, you look at that. You look at the hit on Colt McCoy. I mean, that damn near killed him. Yeah, it really did.
And I don't see a tweet.
And that's But I mean, you can look at those plays, and those were before I think a lot of rules started
that's what kind of led to where they are now.
We've seen a lot of hits like that over the years as Browns fans.
We've seen our punter get stomped on.
Right, yeah. AB kicks our, karate kicks our punter.
But see, going back to all that stuff.
Yeah.
Those are the years where we said we had nothing. We had nothing from top down.
Right.
And that's where those were the frustrating years that,
of course,
to get this back
into 20 of them. Yeah.
Too many of those years where there's just nothing on the field. What we're talking about now, and I know we got into the NFL conversation, but we're talking about Browns now, and I do want to finish this off by switching gears to look ahead with a couple big questions for this team. We're talking about minuscule pieces of this team.
Agreed.
Easily fixable or adjustable pieces. We're pieces away. We've been wanting to say we're pieces away.
We were 2 plays away. Honestly, we were 2 plays away.
2 plays away from winning this game. And
beating the crap. I almost said it.
I know you did.
Beating the crap out of the Bills.
But a couple of those couple plays not being made by a couple pieces, you change a couple pieces. Yeah. And that looks different. Again, tomorrow is not guaranteed.
Agreed.
Being able to if people just assume, and if you got deep orange and brown blinders on where you just assume we're going to be right back at this position next year, that's not the case. You got to start over from scratch.
I'm not saying that we're this team, but look at Jacksonville.
Right.
Yeah, AFC Championship game to 5-11. You got to play smart and you got to be really good
because anything can still happen.
Yeah.
So we have faith, and we've seen enough evidence to trust that we have a chance to do this again next year and take it further. But you got to start from scratch. You don't get to.
Agreed.
You don't just get to. It's not like a video game where you got that checkpoint on there and you just get to start from where you lose and you're trying to beat the big boss and to get to the next level. It doesn't work like that. Professional sports doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work that way. But they have the ability to kind of find what they had this year, adjust it to not a different identity, but a 2021 edition of this culture and whatever identity that takes on to get past this point, and the standard is going to be Super Bowl contention. So what is the big question mark that needs to be answered, or the big move that needs to be made for them to sustain this culture and Super Bowl contention standards?
The only thing that you have to really do, I mean, you just have to beef up the defense. That is my thing. Keep the offensive line intact. Okay. Keep all of those guys, obviously, whatever you have to do, keep the offense the way it is. Because once again, you and I both agree that that offense is Super Bowl caliber. It truly is. I know there were, it didn't happen today because of either Stefanski's game calling or like Chubb looking like he was sleepwalking the first half.
Yeah.
That was weird. I mean, he showed up in the second half for sure.
Could have more carries, but again,
Of
dropping
course.
the ball, that's still player
Back-to-back
execution.
drops. You
Those-
don't see that.
Well-timed screens,
Yes.
you got to make those plays.
Now there was one screen where he basically was swatting it
yeah,
away from a
yeah,
linebacker.
yeah.
That was a great play.
second
by
half,
him.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Is that going to get picked?"
Of course, yeah, exactly. No, but for me personally, the way that I look at this is you just have to beef up the defense. You got to have a couple of starters. Once again, I think Grant Delpit's going to be great. I do, but you got to see him still. So I would draft it. Use all of your draft picks as either offensive line or straight up defense. Wherever, whenever you use it all on defense or offensive line, just to have depth on the offensive line and then go crazy defensively.
So you sign Blake.
Blake Hens.
Yeah.
So you sign. You keep him.
No, you keep Blake. You keep that guy Blake. Yeah. No,
Well,
I
he,
like
he
him a
came
lot.
in and that was the first play that he was in. They ran to his side.
Yeah,
didn't they?
he looked good.
No, he did.
Yeah, he looked actually really good.
Is it Balake though?
Blake.
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 Great.
Ron.
Ron.
You don't messed up.
Son of a bitch.
Timothy, where you at?
Timo
Present.
Present.
Jaquelin.
Jay Quellen. No, all fantastic. I do want to say this. My last point here before I turn it over to you guys and we wrap up. I understand I came out hot on this one. I'm upset. I'm glad that we're talking about this because I feel better now. Once again, I told you a couple of days from now, I'm going to look at this and you know what? We did this well. We were 0-16 3 years ago. And we have come so far. And that's the blessing of the NFL is that there truly is parity. The fact that we were 0-16, 1-31, and we got our franchise quarterback, and he is our franchise quarterback. Once again, sign the contract right now. I don't care what it is. You sign it, Baker.
Is there a limit though to what they should?
Well,
sign
don't give
for?
him $500 million.
Yeah, okay.
Let's not get crazy.
So you're saying somewhere between Myles Garrett and Patrick Mahomes.
Whatever the going rate for a franchise NFL quarterback is what Baker should sign. If it is $125 million, do it. Just do it. At that point in time, and it's a lot of money. Okay, but Baker has shown it to you that once in this system. He can go the distance. His interception, I understand it was a bad interception. Okay, he threw across his body. He even said so himself.
Yeah.
He's like, that shouldn't happen. Okay,
He's just trusting a guy to make.
but
a
that
play.
was his first pick since Halloween. Let's be honest. He's been damn good. So we were 1-31. 3 years ago, and we got a core group of really solid dudes on this team. I am happy. I am proud of this team. I love Kevin Stefanski. He screwed up today, but he is the coach of the year. I know, one of my coworkers, Cocky Cleveland, Dale Davidson, has been ripping on Stefanski all night. Calling him, basically calling him not the coach of the year. Coach of the year wins this game, sort of stuff. Better game plans, everything like that. I understand where you're coming from, Dale, but the totality of the entire season has to be looked at. And what Stefanski did in setting the culture, setting up everything here for us for the future, because you have title runs ahead of us. We do. This is going to become a great rivalry between us and Mahomes. And I can't wait for that because we were on par with them today. We really were. Couple of plays break our way. I know he went out, but a couple of plays break our way. the sky's the limit. It really was.
And it just builds confidence in the locker room.
Absolutely.
You know, Dale hates my Coach Kev thing too.
You know, I saw that. Like Dale got a little hot. You know, like I get it. You know, but Dale views it from kind of the standpoint that I see it. You know, like fans can look ahead and everything like that. I look at it more of the standpoint of like I don't want to be like jinxing things now because I truly do believe in jinxes now. So I'm gonna hold back on saying like, oh, Super Bowl, you know, Super Bowl Browns. You know, like I'm gonna hold off on saying anything like that. Dale can look ahead all he wants, but like I'm with you a little bit whenever it comes to the coach talk, but all
side of the table.
All,
oh boy!
All on good time. You know, like it depends on the timing of it. You know, after a win, go right ahead, Kevin. You can coach speak all you want. After a loss, I'm like, Kevin, shut up.
I hate how right you are right now. Stop it.
Pretty much.
Stop it.
No, absolutely.
I just wanted him to realize, like, you know, I just hope
he knows you're still, you know, a fan.
Yeah, he understands. Like I, you know, it's not. I'm not as diehard as everybody else. I just come at it a different way. You know,
of course, we all do.
The coach just can never get out of me. Even my players of the past hate it too. You know, one of my. I was trying to help one of my former players get some more followers today, and like basically family at this point, and trying to help her out as she's like young, trying to get into the industry of being a Cleveland sports fan and starting a blog and everything. So I was trying to help her get followers.
Well, what's her Twitter handle?
So at Meg in Peg. So that's MEGN.
Oh, I just followed her. Yeah,
one. Yep. At Megan Peg 1 on Twitter. She's going to be doing a lot of blogging and
go follow.
Yeah, go follow. Former player. She actually has her pinned tweet on there. You may hear a familiar voice calling her beautiful cross in their sectional champion, or actually, sectional championship game at Independence.
Yeah.
To Mia Whelms, where she heads it in, so you hear a special little voice at the end of that 8-second clip. She kind of cuts me off, but you know we're family, so it's okay. So I was trying to help. I was trying to help her out today and everything, but you know I'm always trying to coach them if I go see one of their games or something.
Right. I'm
always giving them tips at the end. They like look at me like, look at me just like you do across the table. You know, they give me that.
We all do.
You know, I love it, but not right now. You know, timing is everything. Peter, as we wind down here, what is that one thing or couple things that this team really needs to do as we get into the offseason? We'll do a big breakdown moving forward, but
for sure.
Like just right now off the top of your head, what is that one thing you want to see them do this offseason?
I just really want to see them bolster the defense. I mean, I think we've got a good offensive line. We could use more depth there, but really we just need that defense to step up. I think there's just some pieces, linebackers, most likely. That's my thought, but I feel good about going forward. This is one of the few years that I feel, you know, we end this season, and I'm like, man, I'm excited for next year. Not because to see what we're rebuilding, but just to build on what we have, and that it's a positive, you know, step forward.
Of course, yeah.
I'm excited for September. I don't care about mock drafts.
We got a long way.
I know. I know. So there's going to be other things, and once draft time comes up, like it'll still be a big day, but it's starting to feel more like, you know, an organization like Green Bay or Kansas City, where, when you get to that point, it's like, hey, like what piece can we add? What depth can we add? Young, youthful exuberance to our team to add what we already got, not who's going to be that savior. At the quarterback position, or who's going to be
we have to build around?
Yes,
right. No, thank God. Yeah, we don't have to worry about getting a quarterback or trading up to get one or anything like that.
Instead of starting the core, adding to the core of the team, like that's what draft day will be all about. The one you guys have hit the nail on the head. It's defense,
of course.
The balance, and I don't know how guys do this, but that's why they're paid to do it. And I'm not, but the general manager element of balancing, keeping your core together, and especially guys on rookie contracts and being able to extend them, keep them here, figuring out who you who's expendable and who you have to get rid of to open up some room to pay those guys and make other moves for other guys that may be able to help you more.
Yeah.
That balancing act, that is a stress and a half.
Sure.
That Andrew Berry and all those guys are going to be responsible for. But somehow, some way, you are going to have to start looking at the rookie contracts and extending Baker, like you said, Chubb, Denzel, like making all of these decisions while being able to bolster this defense, because I don't want to make NFL history in terms of being the worst. Like, as great as the season was,
statistical fourth,
still making a statistical worst NFL record of the worst defense on fourth down. You want a
Right.
defense that can get turnovers, but get a stop when they need to. And that is going to be a big question mark. It comes down to linebackers and possibly another edge rusher, so that with Olivier kind of stepping up, questions on him, but someone like that on the other side, so that it's not all on Miles all the time. You want that guy that when Miles gets double teamed, you know you got to worry about both sides of the line.
So my last question, and I asked this to Tony Grossi the other day on or it was the Saturday morning show there for us yesterday. So I asked Tony, if lasso of truth time here for you. If you can only pay, if you can, he hated this question. So one of these guys is going to be on the outside looking in on a contract
I like where this is
extension.
going.
Okay. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Wyatt? Is it going to be Nick Chubb? Or is it going to be Denzel? Because one of those is not going to be able to be afforded.
Which one is are you saying which one gets paid, or which one is the most expendable? Which one's
one,
not here?
Which one will not be here? Between Chubb, Wyatt, and Denzel.
As good as he is, and as much as he kind of was the glue to that offensive line.
Ooh. Really? You're going Wyatt?
I would go Wyatt Teller.
Wow. Okay.
I understand the lifespan of a running back in the NFL.
Sure.
It goes down to, I think Denzel is here.
Yeah.
It goes down to Wyatt Teller and Nick Chubb. What Chubb provides you right now and what your offense is based on.
Yeah. So
Wyatt Teller may be that name, but that is a lasso of truth. Dang, man.
I'll tell you right now, it's going to be Denzel. Okay. And the way that I view Denzel, and I think Denzel's a top 5 corner.
Wow.
That's why you can't afford him. Top 5 corner. Okay. And cornerbacks are, I mean, if you got a great one, you should keep them. Okay. But Nick Chubb will get paid by Cleveland. Now, like, there's no doubt in my mind. Now, whenever I say paid, he's not making $100 million. So, you know, it's nothing that crazy.
Sticking to the scales.
But he is going to probably get about $15 million a year. I could see him honestly signing probably like a 4 or 5 year deal. So $75 million. Okay. So you have that right there. Right guards are a little bit cheaper. Okay. But I mean, Wyatt has been graded as the best offensive lineman there for us. Now, it's been 1 year. So I don't know exactly how much of a contract situation that we're in with Wyatt. Okay. But let's say, you know, he does, this again next year as the number 1 rated guard again. I think you're going to pay him, and you're probably going to pay him a big contract at that point in time. Denzel, if you look at like Jalen Ramsey, who is the best corner in the league, he got paid $100 million. $100 million. Now that's the top corner. If you're looking at like some of the other guys, I mean, you're looking at like, you know, I don't think you can afford him, because you're probably gonna have to spend. He's gonna be at least $60 to $70 million. I don't see the Browns spending $70 million on a corner. Now, that all being said, like, we could see, you know, them trade, you know, Odell or cut him or you know, save some money that way. I don't want that to happen, because I think Odell, you can now add Odell, and like, I think that's a bonus, and we'll get into that.
That's conversation. That's a tease for next week.
That is a tease, yeah.
Because there is an angle with that. There's a conversation I really want to have with that. You're right. You bring up a good point with the money with a cornerback.
There's a lot of money, but
I only say Teller, as good as he is, if he's with us again next year, and you know, we have to look at his contract, and we can talk about this more next week and save some of this for next week.
I'm just spitballing, yeah.
Right, but if Wyatt grades out, and especially in a team that does kind of use analytics more than others, if he grades out that way as the best, then it's going to be tough not to pay him and keep that whole offensive line together.
Right.
But seeing how this offensive line came together and the culture and being able to plug guys in, I mean, Blake able to come in and play so many different positions and do so well against the Steelers, and even today against Kansas City, not as good of a defense, but still playing well, had a left
Agreed.
tackle on Baker's blind side. That's crucial to have that kind of culture within your offensive line room, that guys can come in and they understand what they need to do and maybe play above what their talent evaluation may say about them.
Right.
What you need to be able to defend in the NFL and what your offense is based on and what Chubb gives you. I'd put in the order of Denzel, Chubb, Teller, in that order of
Fair
guys
enough.
that I would want to see extended in that
Yeah.
order right now. And again, time will only tell. That could change.
Very true. Yeah.
But I think this is therapeutic tonight in different ways. And yes, things can get heated, but heated when they need to. And,
Yeah.
You were mad about the game. I was sad and, still frustrated about certain
Sure.
things. Peter is, kind of that content where still frustrated about what happened, but, bringing that bright light of what the future looks like
Right.
to the show.
Peter's seen the stuff that we haven't
He's-
seen, so
yeah.
like he's a little bit more understanding.
I've seen some things.
Yeah. Peter's seen some things in his life, so
He's seen some things,
Some things.
seen some things.
Uh,
So,
yeah.
so there's many different perspectives out there. And again, we're not telling anybody how to feel,
Right.
but what Paulus is going to do, what we're all going to do is take a couple days, sit back and look at this season as a whole. And we will have all of those conversations next week. It'll look a lot different in a couple days, but it's okay to feel how you feel because, again, like I said in the beginning, no matter where you are, whether it's in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, or around the country, around the world, if you wear the orange and brown, you bleed the orange and brown, you love the orange and brown, nothing will ever change that. And that is why we are the best fans in the world. Saw that a lot yesterday at the parade, at the pep rally. Love everyone out there. This has been an amazing show, and a bright future is on the horizons on the lakefront at First Energy Stadium and down there at the facility at Bree, Ohio. But for Nick Paulus and our producer extraordinaire, Peter Tellep, I am Kevin Arnold, reminding all of you out there, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. Love your teams the way you want to love them. Be a fan however you want to be a fan, even if you want to be a coach or look ahead to the future. No matter how you want to do that, don't let anyone ever tell you it's just a game. We love you all 3,000. We will see you all 7 p.m. next Sunday night.